Ah, nothing like a refreshing Capri Sun after a long day of work, and by work I mean rampant vampirism and slurping up bear blood like a lioness. That's probably why her light-colored hair is all over the place, like a mane maybe. This is where episode 4 begins, as Power, presumably still being bored by the Bat Devil momentarily, contemplates why she cares about a fucking cat to the point that it would make her feel enough emotion to evoke a sense of urgency in helping it. It doesn't make any sense. All she knows is killing. What does it mean to worry about something so alive? So trivial in the grand scheme of things, just like everything else. Blood is warm, it occurs to her. It feels nice to hold something warm. That warmth, she struggles to pinpoint, is also emotional, as anybody who likes hugs can also attest to. I love how they portray this transition where Power thinks about that when staring into her own bleeding palm before showing us the resulting hug in her stream of consciousness. Just well done. More smooth transitions of her briefly waking next to Meowie and facing certain death before seeing finally that Denji has actually saved them. But what could possibly compel somebody to save the one who just sacrificed them to a demon? As far as she can tell, it's that all-encompassing opportunity for him to grab her boobs. She thinks that's a stupid reason, but no doubt she recognizes that her own values are beginning to make less sense to her anyway. Very well, you've earned it, champ. It's great how entirely unfazed Meowie is by what's happening inches away. Doesn't even look at it. Getting eaten really toughens you up, I suppose. Oh fuck, it's the infected foreskin devil. A true nightmare to stand before. But actually it's the leech devil, and she's pissed because Bat Devil was her boyfriend, which is just downright shocking for several reasons. Power just learned to love a cat recently, and I'm expected to believe Man Bat and Penis Head were committed to a romantic relationship, and Leech Devil must be completely brain dead to have witnessed Denji just murder Bat and think, yeah, I can probably take that. Like, I don't have the numbers, but I have to imagine more people are afraid of bats than leeches. I don't think I've ever even seen a leech, but then again, I don't spend a lot of time rolling around in the swamp. To be fair, Denji is low on blood and not in prime condition to be fighting more, and Power is completely helpless, recovering from being doused in digestive acid. Something about Denji not being able to get fully erect from the lack of blood flow. It's getting late, I'm having trouble writing already, please kill me. Wait, I got it. Despite Denji's current erectile dysfunction, Leech Devil says she'll let his transgression slide because she thinks he's hot for a guy with a chainsaw sticking out of his head. She doesn't have eyes though, how does she know any of that? Denji has to fight though, because again, it's critical the one with tits in this equation does not die, and the floppy udder things on Leech Devil aren't gonna cut it. This fight is just packed with detail, from the destruction of their surroundings to the perspective switching as they clash, Denji's constant motion as he runs and or stumbles, Leech really just flailing all over the place with every action she takes. It's actually weird to me how incredibly well this fight stands out after the Bat Devil fight from last episode. I'm under the impression everybody remembered Bat Devil more, and yet the fight here at least feels longer and more complexly choreographed. There's definitely shots developed here that are additional from the manga's interpretation. Power's like, no, really, I cannot believe this guy's willing to go this far to touch my chest. And here comes Leech Devil to share that not only did she love Bat, they shared a silly little dream together, nothing serious, just eat every human to extinction. Pretty fucked up, especially considering she too judges Denji for being driven by the idea of touching titty, and frankly, he's just about had enough of this grandstanding. Oh, you think you're so cool wanting to exterminate humanity. Such an important dream, huh? Well, if it's so important, how come I can kick your ass then? Okay, maybe your dream is better. Also, I think this is the first time Power realizes Denji's actually a devil too, which seems understated here a little bit, yeah. Now we get this excellently framed shot of Aki calling upon Fox Devil Clutch to save this dipshit, which he does kinda like how you might pretend you're squishing somebody's head from far away, but actually it's the hand symbol for a fox. Damn, Fox Devil is badass, just popping out of nowhere like a kaiju ghost. I love her eyes too, although this is definitely one of those times where I wish the color palette was a little more extreme overall. Not sure why, maybe because of how monstrous she is, but I never imagined Fox Devil being feminine. It makes sense though, kitsune pretty much always take the shape of women, it seems. Also in the manga, I feel like Fox Devil appeared more ethereal, with fragments of her missing body fading into nothing as she only summons portions of herself. Whereas here you can kind of see her sticking out of the road. And here's these guys, we'll learn more about them soon. I like that Aki cares enough to tell somebody to get Meowie checked out by a vet. Later at the hospital, Aki is a little shaken to find how easy it was to reattach Denji's arm, that he really is a devil. Denji counters with, oh know, Mr. Devil Hater over here, best buds with an enormous fox. Aki informs him that devil hunters make contracts with devils all the time to help kill other devils. Because they all lean toward wanting to hurt people, however, the contract involves Aki literally feeding parts of his body to Fox Devil with every request. So it's far more transactional than anything else, and it really just means that devils, for the most part, don't give a shit about each other if it means acting malicious towards somebody else, even if self-defeating ultimately. Anyway, you gonna explain why the Blood Fiend tried to kill you, and why you're covering for her? Aki agrees to keep it under wraps, seeing as the job got done and nobody died, but start doing what he says more, Denji, or else you might not be getting any more bread with jelly, or living anymore for that matter. It's cool that while Aki zones out to think about this, he stares into his plate of apples and his vision is shown to blur as he visualizes witness testimony on Denji's actions. Same for when Aki looks over to Power in handcuffs and we're looking from his perspective as he adjusts his line of sight. Also Denji finger gun, cute detail. You're free to go, Power, for now, but we are not becoming friends, I promise. Feeling kind of repetitive to point this out, but there's so many little quirks this episode, it's hard to not mention them. Like Aki suddenly rethinking knocking on Makima's door so he can double check and make sure he's presentable for her when he gives his totally honest report. She's very good at playing her cards with all these simps she calls employees. Aki reports, among other things, that there was no gun flesh in the two devils' heads they hunted. No shit, stupid. Guns are made of metal. Makima's on to you, though. You're being a big softy, aren't you, Aki? Yeah, you kind of like those guys, I think. Oh boy, what a beautiful morning. Time to kick back and chill with the newspaper. Nothing could fuck up this routine that was largely not shown in the manga at all, but helps to emphasize the joke that is Aki's life when Power actually breaks his door down and invites herself in permanently. I'm thinking all this Aki slice of life is just decently done space filler to maintain the pacing after episode 1, which is approximately 3.33 chapters an episode. I much prefer this to just stretching shit for longer than necessary, although it also probably explains why the Leech Devil fight is so detailed, again to match the spacing of chapters. I will say I adore the manga's rapid pace, but truthfully, they're so far managing to throw in filler rather seamlessly, and I understand the reason why to a point, so it's not a complaint really, as long as it doesn't take away from later scenes with superfluousness. I'm very hyped to see some later fights though, if this is the quality treatment they give to this episode. Denji, I know Makima said to act like a dog, but you can walk on 2 legs in your own home, bro. Makima, why are you sending the entire circus to my house? I only have so much space, it's an apartment in a Japanese city. Oh, it's because you trust me. Well, why didn't you say so? Yep, playing her cards real well. Ignoring the part where Makima says they're sick of having Power sleep on the office chairs, as the two immediately tear through his apartment like toddlers. It's nice that Denji, growing up without food, is so respectful about food waste that he doesn't want a single vegetable falling on the floor. Farmers poured sweat and tears into that. Very insightful and personal. And crazy when placed next to somebody even less responsible, throwing food she doesn't like, flooding the bathroom and never flushing, never bathing. You know this bitch doesn't wipe her ass, right? That's your waifu. Your waifu doesn't wipe. Thank you, Fujimoto. Denji calls her shit devil. You know, you cleaning up her turds really got her thinking, this is the perfect time for you to get your end of the bargain. It might smell like shit in here and my fecal matter is almost certainly on your hands right now, but how about it? Ready for the big moment? The goal you almost died fighting for? This is it, Denji. You're finally going to touch boobies, and what a prize cat she is. Alright, for a possessed corpse brat with a poopy butt, she is pretty cute though. And regardless, with an allowed maximum of 3 squeezes for his efforts in collecting good boy points, she might as well be an angel in Denji's eyes. But you'll just have to wait until next week to see the big reveal for yourself. Outro review. With bright colors and a comic print aesthetic, we get a perfectly in-your-face, self-aggrandizing and inwardly indulging montage featuring nothing but the shitlord herself, dressed in cosplays all across the spectrum. Of particular note is the nurse outfit referencing an official color illustration for 2019, and the school uniform she wears in the illustration announcing her as the #1 character in the first popularity poll. But don't look that up because spoilers. It's very cute. I love how poppy it is, and it does astoundingly well as a follow-up for the previous outro, which I absolutely loved. The lively and kind of frantic song accentuating our favorite fiend is Josei by TOOBOE, which I can't be sure I'm pronouncing right, but is an artist I recognize from that one music video about zombies you probably all got recommended on YouTube at the same time. Very epic. Anyway, looks like that's all I've got for you today. I'll see you next week in Aki's bathroom.